The Florida real estate market is shifting. House prices are dropping, insurance costs are skyrocketing, and many are wondering, are we headed towards a market crash? Or is this just the calm after the storm from the post-COVID housing boom? I'm Jaime Walker, a local real estate expert in Pensacola, and today we're going to dive into the Pensacola area real estate market, what that means for you, and why it may not be as bad as it seems. During the pandemic, Florida saw unprecedented growth as remote work spiked, interest rates plummeted, and people were flooding to Florida for all sorts of different reasons. It was only natural that we would see a bit of a recalibration fairly soon after such a huge boom and inflated market. Now that the dust has settled, we're seeing inventory rising, price reductions across the board, and houses sitting on the market for longer than anyone wants to see. This isn't necessarily a crash, but it's a correction to more normal market conditions. So let's talk the rising insurance costs. We all know it's happening. It's happening across the board throughout the state of Florida, and it's something that people are talking about quite a bit right now. Florida homeowners are facing huge increases in their premiums right now due to flood risks, storm risks, all kinds of risks across the state. And it's just something that's happening that's completely outside of our control. And believe me, nobody likes it, but we have to deal with it. Not only that, but insurers are pulling out of the state, leaving residents with fewer and fewer options for their home insurance. And then there's the interest rates. That's also something that people are talking about a lot right now. And a lot of people, I think, expected them to come down a bit already, and we just haven't seen that. They're hovering around 7% right now, which is one reason why a lot of buyers aren't hopping into the market. They want to just wait until those interest rates come back down. A mortgage that would have cost you about $1,500 a month just 2 years ago is now probably going to be about over $2,000, even if the total home value has not changed. When you add high insurance premiums to rising mortgage costs, it's no wonder that we're seeing a slowdown in the buyer market. It's just harder to afford a home in Florida right now. A real estate crash typically means that home values plummet, foreclosures spike, and demand dries up entirely. And what we're seeing in Florida right now doesn't truly meet that criteria. While home prices may dip, people who bought at the beginning of the boom or even pre-pandemic or pre-boom likely still have a lot of equity. Foreclosures are not significantly rising due to a couple of different factors, I think, but a few of the things I want to take a look at are the fact that unemployment rates are still fairly low, and most people buy homes with fixed rate loans. In my own personal opinion, I think that what it comes down to is that people were still buying outside of their means during the housing boom, which sort of seems like a given. People were buying way over market value, and it's just really wild what was happening. Watching people spend so much more money on homes than we knew they were really worth, and even waiving inspections and having to deal with repairs and things later on, I think has led to people just not really being able to afford or not wanting to keep up the rat race of being able to afford the payment that they had, and just wanting to simplify and downsize and feel a little bit more peace, perhaps, and security with their financial situations. Now, having said that, this isn't 2008. I don't want people to get in a panic thinking that we're facing what we did way back then, because that was a really scary time and a lot of people really went through it. And so what we're not seeing now are the predatory lending prices, the over-leveraged buyers, and the oversupply of homes that we saw back then. So while some people might have stretched their means a little bit in the last couple of years, it is by no means what we saw in 2008 and 2009. The good news is, if you've been priced out of the market for the last couple of years, this could be your moment. Homes are staying on the market longer, which can give you more time to negotiate and shop around. However, rising costs just mean that you need to be a bit more strategic with your budget. Also, it really does pay to work with someone who is a local expert in the real estate market, such as myself. And for you sellers out there, I hate to say it right now, gone are the days that you can list your home for any price and have offers rolling in like this immediately. Pricing your home from the start is critical. What we're seeing a lot of right now are home sellers who still think that they can sell at those boom prices or maybe even slightly under that. And unfortunately, with the way that the market is recalibrating back to what we consider kind of normal market conditions for 2024 going into 2025, you just have to be a little bit more smart. So the higher you list your home, the likely it is to sit longer on the market. The lower you price your home, the likelier it is that you're going to sell a little bit faster. Now, while this is always true, right now it is especially true, especially because we see a lot of people that cannot afford to buy their next home without selling their current home. And we've had a lot of clients that are doing this really, really stressful dance, trying to sell one home and get into their next home. So I say all of that to say, listen to your realtor's advice and just know, sellers, you may not be able to sell right now as high as you were hoping. And for those of you wondering where we are today, we are sitting at Flounders, actually on Flounders Beach, they call it here behind the restaurant, which is right on the sound side of the Pensacola Beach area, which you might have seen in one of our other videos. You can watch that here. And yes, as we're filming this today on December 17th, it is nice enough to sit outside on the beach. The sun is shining. There's a nice cool breeze. It is so nice out today. So don't you want to move here? I'm Jaime Walker, and I'm with the Living in Pensacola Group, powered by Coldwell Banker Realty. And we hear from people just like you all the time who are moving here or getting stationed here, and we would love to help. So you can shoot us a text, send us an email, or you can even schedule a Zoom call with us. We would love to see your face and help you make a smooth move to the Pensacola area. So until next time, bye-bye.